Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter because we have a great conversation every day. I answer questions, give out cool stats, and you don't want to miss any kind of cool news like when I appeared on ESPN Radio a couple days ago. Let's talk about the post-game show tomorrow night as well after Game 2 of the Pacers versus Heat. We'll have a great one. It should be a great game. And the Game 1 was also very fascinating and some stuff I had never seen before at the end. But I also wanted to break down what the Heat do on offense because much has been made about it. So I'm going to show you their most common sets that we saw from Game 1. The basic movement in horns is an entry pass to the high post. The point guard goes to the weak side and screens the man in the corner. LeBron can curl to the rim or get a staggered double screen from Haslam. This becomes a pick and roll out top and enough movement to free up Chalmers in the corner. If the weak side guard in the corner cuts to the hoop, this becomes a flex action with Chalmers supposed to down screen for LeBron, who does get a good look at a three. The Heat also use it to get LeBron James a post-up by initially going away from him. He simply jogs across the baseline to get low post position and isolates on Paul George. They love to get Ray Allen in the corner and go to the high post on his side. Cole sets a pin down and James pitches it to him. Birdman comes over for a third screen. If there's no shot, Allen can find LeBron, who simply attacks the basket and Paul George's face. In overtime, they run the same play. One problem is that Dwayne Wade has nothing to do in the set, and they're relying on Ray Allen to trigger the whole offense off the dribble. When Allen can't make anything out of this, they get a bad shot. They disguise horns a little bit with Wade cutting to the top to receive the first pass. This becomes a clever double ball screen for Wade, who gets into the lane and gets a layup. While this might not look like horns, it is. LeBron just cut backdoor first. In this wrinkle, LeBron backscreens Chalmers, then gets the ball and a screen from Haslam. In horns, the ball screener is always the most dangerous man since there's enough movement that the weak side doesn't pick him up very often. The next favorite set of the Heat is the pass, pitch back, ball screen for the point guard. While Ray Allen does a lot of standing around on the weak side, if Cole doesn't get a shot, he's looking for Birdman on the cut or Allen spotting up in the corner. The Pacers like to hedge very high on the screen and roll part, so Cole has the option of turning back to the inside and attacking, finding Birdman sliding into the lane for the dunk. The problem with this set is that you're marginalizing LeBron by having him stand on top while Norris Cole makes the decisions. While this got 2 free throws, a running hook by Birdman in overtime cannot be what Spoelstra wants in this situation. And deep in the fourth, LeBron gets cute by cutting for the alley-oop instead of the pass at the wing. This was way too risky at this point. And again, having Norris Cole make crunch time decisions for you can be as painful as a punch in the nuts. In a key moment, they added a wrinkle. Instead of Ray Allen catching the ball and pitching it back to Wade, he just screens Wade instead. The defense was shifted out of position and Wade gets a nice layup. They finally let LeBron run it, getting the pitch back and the ball screen. Again, Indiana will not let LeBron use the sideline screen, and Paul George has taken away the easy middle penetration. The offense becomes 4 guys spotting up around LeBron, and this is easy to defend for a team like Indiana. As a sideline out-of-bounds play mostly, the Heat like to flash LeBron to the free throw line and have a back screen set on the weak side. When run correctly, and the defense is played poorly enough by Stevenson, it gets them a gorgeous play for a layup. If they don't get the cut to the basket, the screener opens up to the ball and they run a 2-man game. Screen and roll turns into a drive-in dish from Cole to Bosch. If the cutter doesn't get the pass, and man was he open again, the ball goes back to the screener, who then has the option of isolating against his man while everyone else spots up. LeBron also has the option of ignoring that back screen and just going to the hoop off the flash, hoping to catch the defense off guard. They also have LeBron get the back screen, and while Chalmers tries to set the normal ball screen on him, LeBron has the option of waving him off and isolating on his man. Another interesting set they run every so often is a zipper cut by Wade. Cole gets 2 cross screens along the free throw line, and both Ray Allen and Battier will screen the ball. Wade doesn't need the second ball screen and finds Cole spotting up on the weak side corner. I detected a bit of a triangle offense as the Heat run pinch post into a screen and roll with Bosch and LeBron. This instantly collapsed the defense and got a dunk for Birdman. They're also free to just set a screen for LeBron in semi-transition, but spacing can be a problem when freelancing like this. However, the Heat keep it together long enough to get a LeBron isolation on top and dish to Birdman. Another problem with freelancing is that you might get guys almost fighting over who is going to screen LeBron, and this also leads to disorganization where you have guys randomly cutting to spots on the floor, making it hard for LeBron to read and make the right play. Indiana is good enough to stop hero ball like this, and it took a miracle 3 by LeBron to bail them out. The Heat often settle for this no offense where guys are spaced poorly and just walking around out there. These are the kind of possessions where a defensive team like Indiana can make it difficult to get scores. Lastly, the Heat like to set a screen for LeBron out on top with their point guard, who will take a roundabout route to get there. This works because they spread everyone else so far there's no help. And they also use it with hopes of a switch, as in this play, where George Hill doesn't have much hope of stopping LeBron, especially without Hibbert to protect the rim. And a quick word on some of the endgame situations, as there were some very bad fundamentals on display. With a chance for a 2-for-1, Indiana can't get into their attack quick enough, so they run a decent pin down to get Paul George a look from 15. With the offensive rebound, there is no need to attack quickly, since even if you score, you're giving the Heat a lot of time to win the game. So it was head-scratching to say the least when Paul George just takes off out of control to the hoop here. Even worse, he gets up in the air to pass and has to hope George Hill can run this pass down. This wasn't a pass to Young, by the way. This was simply Paul George stuck without a pass to Hibbert. Now, we have a 93% free throw shooter missing one, giving the Pacers some hope. I've decided that when I'm up by 3 like this, I'm going to foul and not let the other team shoot a 3 to tie it. I'm surprised they had no other screen in the weak side for a shot, relying on this simple pin down for George Hill as their only hope. When the Heat switch it, it looks bad for the Pacers, especially when Paul George lofts another bad pass that gets tipped. LeBron should have just fouled David West here and given them 2 free throws. Instead, a miraculous 32-footer by Paul George to tie. Down 3 late in overtime, the Heat run their freelance stuff with LeBron isolating and everyone else space in the perimeter. The only guy even remotely in position for an offensive rebound is LeBron, who was in the right place at the right time for it. Again, 3 guys will just stand around the perimeter with poor spacing, allowing the Pacer defense to dig in. Paul George must have been exhausted since this was a clear-cut switch on the pick and roll, but Paul George can't get back to Battier and they give up a wide-open 3 to tie. Bosh gets away with a blatant push-off and ends up tipping it in and getting the foul. I've gone back and forth on the whole benching Hibbert thing. However, there were enough plays where Hibbert was ineffective at defending the rim that I can see why Vogel would have taken him out. We already showed you how this pick and roll with Cole gets the switch and an easy layup for LeBron. Down 2 with plenty of time, Paul George with yet another terrible pass, this one at the lower leg of George Hill. Incredibly, after some serious hustle by Hill, George gets the ball and gets the foul call. For the life of me, there isn't an angle they showed where you can see contact by Dwayne Wade on this shot. And on this last shocking play, Paul George was out of it from the beginning, getting caught off guard by the little push-off by LeBron and just inexplicably jumping up and to his left, giving LeBron the open lane. While it's doubtful Hibbert would have been able to do too much, it certainly would have been better than what Sam Young did, which was absolutely nothing. So there you have it, sports fans. I'm fairly certain that Coach Vogel will now have Greg Hibbert in on those game-ending situations. Now, let's make it clear, there were plenty of possessions that I saw during this game where he wasn't very effective protecting the rim at all. And it almost made sense, okay, let's get him out of there because they're going to stretch him out and take a shot over him by Bosh from the perimeter. However, whoever they put in there instead is going to be a lot worse than what he brings to the table no matter what. And that's what happened with Sam Young in there instead. So I suspect we won't see that issue happen again, and they're going to live and die by having Greg Hibbert be in there. Well, thanks for joining us. Don't forget about our post-game show coming up later on after Game 2 of the Pacers versus Heat tomorrow night. And also don't forget at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?